Welcome back, everybody, to Huobi X-Change. My name is Darko, your host this evening, and tonight we are joined by Nikolai, CEO and founder of Gear. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling, Nikolai?
Yeah, thank you. Feeling great. Thank you for having me here.
And thank you
hello, everybody.
And thank you for coming, and thank you to everybody else who's watching from all over the world via the official Huobi Global app, via YouTube Live, via Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please get involved in that live chat box and let us know which country you are watching from. And while you're at it, please smash that like button and maybe share some love and click that share button. Share it around on Twitter, Telegram, and Facebook, and all those other places that everybody loves to use so much. So, Nikolai, welcome to the stream once again. Tonight, I will be asking you a series of questions, but before we get into that, could you maybe, for the people who haven't met you before, give us some background on yourself, a little bit of, news and history, maybe how did you get into crypto and why, sort of thing?
Yeah, so I really was an engineer for the whole my life. I was doing a lot of things. And once I got into crypto, and this was a not very remarkable story. I just joined my friend who was joining Gavin Wood when he left Ethereum and started what is now known as Parity Technologies. So I joined them back then. And when I joined crypto, we in Parity did a lot of stuff. We implemented a lot of protocols, like maybe if you look at the Parity Technologies like GitHub, then you kind of can mention that I worked on a lot of things there. Being in crypto, it's like a very demanding job. So you have to do things very carefully. It must be everything must be super secure, and I really enjoyed that for last 6 years.
Oh, nice.
Before starting Gear Technologies, which is the topic for our current conversation. So yeah.
Yeah, so you would have experienced a couple of bull runs then in the last 6 years. So you've seen some ups and downs, the whole roller coaster ride.
Yeah, of course. Like everybody who been here around for 6 years, yeah, they probably do. So that's just life, just crypto.
Awesome. So having said that, for the people out there watching who have never heard of Gear before, could you please tell us what exactly is Gear?
So when making a Gear, we kind of try to make a ideal application layer for Polkadot. So Polkadot itself, it's not really an application platform, but rather like a network for securing different others network. And some of those networks that Polkadot secures might be application platforms. I mean, some might be not platforms, but application on their own. And what we do in Gear, we want to make a kind of all recent advancement in smart contract technologies. We take them and bring them as an application platform from Polkadot. Not only that, but also we'll have a standalone network, which will have the same utility like the other layer ones out there. But generally, yes, it's a modern application platform that is parallelizable by design, shardable by design, and it can it's supposed to be a future-proof platform, which increases performance as the computer hardware improves.
So it's more of a technically sophisticated kind of software as opposed to something like a GameFi project or a farming token, so to speak.
Yeah, it's an application platform where you can develop anything of those, including GameFi, DeFi, NFTs, everything is possible. As it possible on Ethereum, for example, is it possible on, I don't know, on Solana or Near. It's just an application platform that allows you to do anything you want.
So what was the inspiration behind creating Gear, and what kind of influence do you hope to have on the Web3 industry?
Inspiration is probably to make Web3 really super accessible. and we indeed tried to do this in a modern way. So in Gear, for example, you don't need to kind of be aware that you program for blockchain. You just write a regular program and it just works and enjoys like 100% uptime, as any Web3 application obviously has, because like blockchains never stop. I mean, good blockchains never
Good
stop.
blockchains, yes.
And we will be good. So yeah, the inspiration is really to allow this, unstoppable services, unstoppable applications, and uncensorable applications that the world really lacks.
So do you expect to have a big influence on the Web3 industry in the future? Because the technology seems to be moving very quickly these days, and there's a lot of uncertainty, you know what I mean? So
yeah, indeed. Like I said, we want people who are not yet in Web3, who are kind of programming for cloud service, cloud platforms, do some cloud services. Many of them really can enjoy what blockchain has to offer. So this would be 100% uptime, censorship resistance, and many of critical really services that kind of power up our world. Critical infrastructure can really enjoy being deployed on blockchain and Gear in particular, because we really provide the same programming experience just in blockchain context.
So could you maybe get into a little bit more on how this Gear works? So you did mention it was shardable by design, for example. So maybe to the viewers watching, what would this mean to them in simple terms?
Yeah, shardable means just all kind of participants of the network don't really need to keep all the global state of the network. So, for example, like one node can just keep like 10 contracts. We call them programs. Can keep just 10 programs. The other can keep another 10 programs, and they kind of share the
load
network storage between each other, so they don't need to keep all 20 programs each. So this is kind of what do I mean by shardable, and also as another things we do. Gear is parallelizable by design, and it's like a core design of Gear. So as you probably might know, as technical people in information technologies know, that now computers don't really scale by increasing CPU frequency, but rather they're scaling by increasing number of CPU cores, and any sensible solution, like any sensible computational platform or application platform, or really needs to utilize this ability to kind of spread the work, spread the computation across multiple cores of the modern CPUs to achieve any good performance. So Gear does that, unlike, for example, Ethereum, unlike Avalanche, unlike many others traditional kind of smart contract platforms. Also this. Also, we use I don't know how much technical can I go.
Go for it. Educate me. Come on.
Yeah, we also kind of make programming very easy by completely dumping all interactions programmers need to do, like with retrieving, storage, saving something in blockchain. We just Gear programs just don't need to do anything like that. They just run forever. And Gear engine, like our platform, our protocol, just stores the entire of the state at background. So and to the programmer, it's just like he just starts programs that never end, and Gear makes sure that it will work between interactions from users from the same place it was before the previous interaction, or from the start. So it's essentially just like never ending some cloud service or something, just deploying blockchain context. So we'll do that.
So once it's there, it's there. That's it. It just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
So could you maybe talk a little bit more about the unique features of Gear? Let's focus a bit more on that in a little bit more detail. Some of the really unique features of gear.
Yeah, it's those that I mentioned. Obviously, we also use so-called WebAssembly. I'm not sure how much people are aware about it, but WebAssembly is really like a big collaboration between like major kind of companies that run our internet now. It's a collaboration of Mozilla, Google, Microsoft, and other people. They wanted to create a modern virtual machine for running applications, and they did it. And it's now now every browser in the world has it. And we in blockchain and in Pi Technologies previously, now in Gear, we are really kind of always interested in this virtual machine, but to use it in blockchain context, because obviously in blockchain context you also need what they design. So in blockchain context you just need some piece of code that somebody wrote and run it on your on your own hardware securely, and the WebAssembly gives that by definition. So this one of what it gives to kind of users, programmers, and such. It gives the ability to use already established language to program for blockchain, for example, Rust, C++, C itself, and many others who have like a compilation backend. So yeah.
So are there any other use cases for Gear that we haven't discussed yet, or we haven't covered yet?
Gear can do pretty much everything, but it should really shine in things that require high transaction throughput and low latency. So one of the obvious choices would be GameFi solutions. Also very computation demanding platforms, like for example order book exchanges, unlike the automatic market making exchanges. Order book exchanges can really enjoy the kind of computational power of Gear, and many others. So many use cases are really yet to come, because if you see kind of how much people are programming for Web3 now, it's really very little part of the world like programmers. So there are like millions of programs, and for Web3 there are just several thousands doing some regular things for Web3, and we are yet to see use cases, for real use cases.
Yeah, it's a growing industry, and it's growing faster and faster day by day. But as I know, Gear can be deployed and Polkadot Kusama parachain. In that case, what will be Gear's role in the Polkadot Kusama ecosystems?
Gear will be some kind of fast track. For example, if you want to kind of enter Polkadot ecosystem, without Gear, you need to kind of buy your parachain slot, then program some rather complex things in a framework called Substrate, then win a parachain slot. Like it can take several months, it can cost you up to several millions of dollars, and so on and so on. And by using Gear, you just can make it with a small application. You can just make it in minutes and pay like several bucks worth of gas fees and such. So we really give a fast track into entire Polkadot ecosystem, because Gear, once deployed, it will eventually, like not from day zero probably, but very soon, it will have connections to all other parachains, major ones, and you can interact with them as easy as calling some other contract or program, and you will enjoy it without being in Gear, and it will be great programming experience and great exposure to the whole like emerging Polkadot ecosystem.
So is all this happening now? Is it all live now, or is it still in development, or have some features come out and are available? Like, what's the story? What's the status of Gear right now?
Status is that we already developed like a feature complete protocol, so the development experience is more or less the same that will be across the parachains, our standalone network. And currently we are deploying only our standalone network. It will have basically the same utility as a parachain, but it will lack the Polkadot connections and Kusama connections for a while. But once we do that, it will be kind of experimental network. People will start to put their solutions over there. We'll optimize the performance, test everything. And once we finish kind of this kind of homework, then we deploy this battle tested solution already as a parachain.
So what stage of the development have you reached right now today, and what are your future plans given those developments so far?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the previous question. So we developed a feature complete protocol. I think we have our biggest engineering team in the whole Polkadot ecosystem behind Parity Technologies itself, obviously. So we have a lot of plans, but we will keep very focused development. We'll work just on our thing without kind of do some consulting work, integration works. We are not doing that. We just make our product, our smart contract engine, and deploy it in several scenarios, and we'll try to do it perfectly without any side tasks or anything.
Yeah. So how could people get involved in Gear?
Oh, and in Gear we have a number of tools. I mean, as a programmer, you can be involved obviously by programming applications you dream of. So we have a lot of things for that. Our test network, for example, it's live since like forever, from the beginning of the year, I think, and more. And the development experience is pretty much the same as you would find in later when we go live. As a user, you can obviously like use applications that developers are developing, and that's pretty much it.
So is there a website that we can go to and visit as well for more information and get a feel of what to expect from Gear?
Yeah, of course, it's gear slash tech gear. Gear
minus
dash,
the minus thing that
minus dash gear dash tech.io.
Gear dash. What was it?
Tech.
Deck.
TECH. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So moving along, Gear minus DE.
Tech. Gear Technologies. Gear minus TECH.
.io.
Okay,
cool. I mistyped it. All right, awesome. I might have a look a little bit towards the end of this interview at that as well. So moving along, we learned that the actor model communication method is advantageous in terms of messages, security, and robustness compared to the network situation. But can the speed situation be increased? And now I know you did mention shardable by design earlier, but could you give us a bit more? So in terms of the model communication method, if it's advantageous and so forth.
Yeah, this actor model is basically how programs like talk to each other, programs and users talk to each other. So with actor model, when you kind of send some transaction to the network, you essentially kind of ask her, like, for example, if I send A, you send me back 2. And once the program then goes, want to call another program, then it will do it synchronously. So it then goes to other program, waits until it replies, then replies to that, and it all happens synchronously. And the user kind of waits until it finishes completely or doesn't finish. So an actor model really allows, and you obviously cannot do, when you call each programs kind of synchronously, you obviously cannot parallelize it, at least easily. because you need just you are not aware which will call what, and you can predict what part of the storage of global storage will touch, and with actual model there are just messages. So you put some message for the program, and then program will handle all messages in its inbox, and then reply in them as soon as it's ready. And when communicating to other program, it also puts the message in its inbox, and it will reply eventually, and it gives kind of asynchronous processing of the messages. And in this way, you can easily parallelize computations because you are sure that during processing of each message, program cannot touch anything but its own state.
When you say messages, do you mean like code, or is it a bit more simple than that?
You can think of message as basically as a transaction. So
yes, yeah, I get you.
So, but it's really more small than transaction, because transaction, for example, a user makes transactions for sending message A in program 1, and then program 1 receives this message A, then it kind of makes another message to another program and waits until the reply receives, and these all messages compose one kind of useful transactions for user. So one useful transaction can be multiple messages, but can be also one.
Okay, that makes sense. So what role does the persistent memory play in your project exactly? Can you get into some detail about that?
Persistent memory, as already kind of covered a little bit in previous questions, really gives the ability to program easily. So you don't need to store anything on blockchain, load anything, like you just write regular programs and gear at the background, make sure that all state is persistent, so memory is persistent, so that's the persistent memory. So you can just be sure that your program will also be in the same state when you left it before.
Okay, so it's pretty straightforward then. Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right, so what is the percentage of young generation getting involved in this DApp technology? Because Web3 is the future of internet, and how far does this Web3 technology have reached the young audience? Because currently Web3 may be in use only in the crypto world.
I'm not really sure how much people get involved, but we in Gear really engaged in many technical universities around the world.
Yep.
So, and I see like for every hour workshop in basically in any university. What we teach there is we teach like how to work with Gear, how to work with Web3, and this basic stuff. And I really see how much people are coming to in each of this workshop. So I really see a lot of interest in young generation for Web3 technologies and dApps and so on. Maybe, of course, because it's kind of hyped with all this. Bitcoin costs that much, so I will try to learn Web3 technologies. But many people are just interested in obvious advantages that Web3 gives to kind of the world.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. A lot of people want to get involved in Web3 and contribute to the space and work in the space, and then they see the Bitcoin price go down. They're like, screw that, I'm out. I'm going to get another job. And then the price of Bitcoin moves up. I want to get back into Web3 again. So there's a lot of emotion involved, which you've been in the space long enough to know as well, that this industry has no room for emotions. 100% no room for emotions. Yeah. This is not an emotions industry. In this industry, we must think with our heads, not with our hearts. It's just the way it is. That's the reality of it. But we've seen it so many times before, and we will continue to see it many more times moving into the future as well. So what I've gone and done is, while you were just talking, I've actually gone into the system and thrown in your website into the system, so I can put on our screen. You won't see it on your screen, but it'll be showing during the stream now to the audience watching. I just want to quickly go through the website just so people can get more of a visual understanding of what to expect. So I've gone to gear-tech.io just to confirm. And moving along, we have smart contract engine for Polkadot. Gear protocol is an advanced, and by the way, please feel free to stop me at any time if there's anything you wish to interject with. Okay? So don't wait for me to finish, just stop me, say, Darko, stop! Or something like that. All right, don't be shy, don't be shy. So going back to the website, smart contract engine for Polkadot. Gear protocol is an advanced WASM-based smart contract platform capable of being deployed as a Kusama and Polkadot parrot chain that enables developers to deploy their dApps in under 5 minutes in the easiest and most efficient way possible. So you have the latest news and events section as well, but I'll just move on to back to where we started. What is Gear? So Gear is creating a network to make deploying on Polkadot as easy and efficient as possible. This will enable developers to build their dApps on Polkadot and Kusama to take advantage of the benefits of their respective ecosystems without the traditional significant time and financial expenses. And for more information, there is a documentation button beneath that section on the main website as well. We have easy to develop and easy to scale. The main engine of the Gear network is a smart contract module. In Gear's case, any smart contract is a WebAssembly program, as Nikolai mentioned earlier, compiled in different languages such as Rust, C, C++, etc., etc. It has a low entry barrier for developers from outside the crypto world because they can build smart contracts in a familiar environment. It is easier for developers to experiment with smart contract programming languages, persistent memory for immutable programs, asynchronous message handling as we discussed earlier in this stream, and a minimal, intuitive, and sufficient API surface for blockchain context. As for the scalability part, the problem with becoming a Polkadot parachain is that there is an extremely high entry cost as thousands of projects are competing against each other to win one of a limited number of slots. On top of that, deploying as a parachain can be very time consuming, and in some cases it can even take up to a year. However, by developing on Gear, developers can launch their dApps easily and efficiently and enter the interoperable Polkadot ecosystem without having to win an auction or become a parachain. This means that developers can enter one of the most promising blockchain networks without having to cough up the significantly high financial and time costs. Gear makes deploying your dApps cheap, fast, and efficient. There is also a list of backers and frequently asked questions as well. Moving down, you can also feel free to join their communities and their socials. They have Twitter, I believe that's a Discord, YouTube, Telegram, and there's a list there, so forth. And of course, more links down at the bottom as well. So please feel free to check out the official Gear socials and the official Gear website at gear tech, so GEAR-TECH, geartech.io for more information. Join their socials, tell them Darko sent you, give them a little bit of a hard time so they know that you came from me as well. Why not? So have I missed anything? Is there anything you wish to add from what I just went through on the website, Nikolai?
Oh, that was pretty much everything. We try to, make it as short as possible so the people won't lose attention.
So could we just maybe just touch on quickly the wallets situation? So how do you work in terms of wallets?
Oh, the good things about Polkadot and Kusama, obviously, that some ecosystem that you get many of things for free. For example, wallets. Yeah. So any Polkadot wallet will work perfectly with Gear. So.
Okay, awesome. Any information with regards to staking?
Yeah, in our standalone network, there will be some kind of staking the launch, and in Polkadot and Kusama parachains, we'll probably introduce something, but we haven't figured exact details yet. But what we really want to kind of see is that dApps developers are getting some part of the network fees and such. this things becomes more and more popular in the recently. So we want to do that as well.
Could this have any connection at all to the topic that so many people love to talk about, which is NFTs?
I mean, in terms of engineering, NFT is quite a trivial thing. Of course, you can do NFTs in gear also.
Yeah.
But it's, trivial things. It's more about, marketing and other things, as in not about innovations.
Yeah.
But obviously, there are some great use cases about NFTs, and we're happy to support them.
There's one other thing I just noticed now on your official website, which I just want to quickly go back to your website and just touch on as well, if you don't mind. But it's the workshops, which sounds interesting. You've got Gear Workshops. Gear Technologies is collaborating with universities from all over the world to organize workshops for their students. The primary goal for this is to accelerate education about the Web3 industry, and you have a list of some universities there as well. So how is all that going for you? How's that turning out?
Oh, this is actually the things I really enjoy because people, the students, they don't really know much about Web3 technologies, and yet on every of those workshops, we successfully do some small, workshops tasks, and people really see how it's easy to jump, on this Web3 ecosystems. I mean, obviously on our ecosystem, preferably on our ecosystem, like in Polkadot ecosystem, but in Web3 in general. So, yeah.
So, and you've had workshops in Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Chile, Colombia. That's pretty diverse right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we recently we made a lot of workshops in those, but I think it's planned workshops.
Yeah.
If you check past, then we have much more that were already hosted before.
Oh, yep. Before I get to that, just quickly as well, I also want to host a workshop. If you work at a university and you would like to introduce your students to the latest innovations from within the blockchain and Web3 industries, then please contact us and we can discuss how best to hold a workshop together. So has the reception been good for that so far? How's the reception been for that?
Oh, it's really great. Like we hosted like dozens of workshops like all over the world, and everybody enjoyed it.
Nice, that's awesome. Were there any plans to do any future like videos on those workshops as well, or you haven't gone quite that far yet?
I think we make a video there pretty much every time. I'm not sure how to see them.
Is it on YouTube or anything, or?
I'll check this out. Probably, yeah. It's a good question, actually. But I think we make video on every workshop, just not sure how to find them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Here.
You found it?
Yeah, I'll probably keep updated here because I don't know how to find them myself.
No, that's cool. That's cool. All good. Before we give this a wrap, is there anything else you wish to let the Huobi Global audience know? Anything else you would like to bring up?
Yeah, I'm just talking to developers and people who want to kind of enter the Web3 world. You really should look how it's easy to develop on Gear, and feel free to ask questions in any channel you want. So it might be Discord, Telegram, whatever. So our kind of ecosystem guys who are kind of oversee the use cases of Gear can always help you, like to validate your ideas, to help and everything. This is why we are here. So never hesitate to ask any questions to our guys.
Awesome. And before we go as well, what's the next step for Gear? And I'm not talking about future roadmap in 6 months, 12 months time. Like what's next on the hit list for Gear?
It's our first network goes live. It's a standalone network. and it should go live in about a month or so.
Yeah.
So follow the news and updates on Twitter.
Twitter, Telegram, Discord, they're all there on the official website at geartech.io. So that was gear -tech, TECH.io for all future updates and announcements. Awesome, Nikolai. So thank you so much for coming on board this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure and refreshing to hear about a project such as Gear. And I'm really looking forward to diving into the website in more depth after this stream ends as well, to learn even more and check out the socials as well. And I think not financial advice to anybody watching, but I think everybody else watching should do so too. So awesome. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody for tuning in on the official Huobi Global app, YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Until next time, please be safe, be healthy, trade wise, and as always, rock on.